Here we go. So what are we going to discuss today? We're going to discuss a few things, actually. The main topic is, as ladies, as 12 Brave announced it, why we don't act on the ideas or dreams or desires, and how can we start moving. Of course, 1.5 hours is never enough to discuss all of the topics that are locked in this big theme, but we will look at few things. We will look at how to get a bit more clarity, what are some inner blockers, so what stops us on acting when we actually know what we want to do, but we don't do it. And we also will look at personal strengths, just to clarify how well you know yourself, so maybe how you are utilizing your strengths, or maybe you can utilize it even more. And we will already start thinking about teeny tiny next step, like little experiment that you might want to do in whatever area you want to move further. Of course, in the next webinars, it's also with the 12 Brave, you will work on it more in details. Today is just the start. But anyways, okay. I also want to start, if I can actually change my slides, which I cannot. And I don't know why. Yeah. So here we go. I want to start from bringing up 3 main reasons of why we don't make the next step. When we want to change something, when we know that we want to do something different or something better, there are usually 3 big reasons for that. The first one is lack of clarity. You may not know what you really want. So you might have an idea that, okay, I want to do something different, but you don't know what exactly. You may have too many ideas of what you like, what you want to do, and no idea where to start, where to begin. It might be a lack of energy or resources. So the timing might be not right. What I mean by that is, for example, you have always dreamed of becoming an individual entrepreneur, starting your own business. You had an idea of how, or you have a calculation of how much savings you need for that. And then you get laid off, so the timing is not right. You first need to digest the emotional stress. You need to organize your finances, because we cannot be creative and start something new with, let's say, full energy and dedication when we're in panic and exhaustion. And the third reason why we might not move towards what we want to do is inner blockers. The very important thing is that each of us, everybody, has 2 forces inside ourselves. We want to change and we don't want to change. So both of these dimensions are pretty strong, and they're very normal. This tension is very normal. And we will also look today at our inner blockers, because as soon as we know in which way we stand in our own way, it's easier to work with that. So to give you an idea of what we're going to do, we will try to create a bit of more clarity where we don't have it. So basically we will talk about and look at what inspires us, what strengths you bring to the table. We will see where the energy is right now, what's the state of energy and resources, and we will talk about inner blockers and how to remove them. This is more or less the plan. Do you guys also have in mind something that you wanted to talk about here about today, but I didn't mention it? Let me know. Because if there are some topics or some questions that you thought we're going to discuss today, but I didn't put it on the plan, we can always cover it separately, or I can maybe recommend you some resources, or maybe we have a little bit of time so we can also park it and discuss it later. So how does it feel? How does the agenda feel?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's perfect. Then we can start moving. And again, if you have any questions, just maybe raise your hand or drop it in the chat. And yeah. So we'll start from a little inspiring block. We will look at the things that inspire you, and we will look at in a certain way. First of all, why it is important? Because when we don't know what we want, we cannot act. And as I mentioned, when there are too many things we want to act on, we're also not acting. So what we're going to do in a second, I will ask Victoria or Ekaterina in a minute to split us into small groups of 2 persons. And I will ask you to take first few minutes, like around 5, maybe 3 minutes, just with yourself to think about your ideal day. So we really will try to visualize the ideal day, and you can use some great days from your past when you really thought, oh my God, that was a great day. That was productive, fulfilling, but also productive and fulfilling, not in the way like productive for, say, your company, your employer, if you're currently working for the company, but you felt really, really happy with that day. And of course, we're not talking about like holidays. It's really the day when you did something, because we're talking about job-related projects and ideas. So you can see the questions on the slide. Think about and really imagine, where are you? How does your morning start? Who is around you? What kind of things you're doing? Are you doing these job projects, whatever you're doing, alone? Are you interacting with other people? What gives you energy? When and how your day ends? And what are you excited about tomorrow? So that means that you're already living not only one day, but it's kind of the reality where tomorrow will be also something related to whatever idea, project, job, things you want to do. Your partner's role, and I see the typo, by the way, it's not PA, it's partner's role. So once, when one of you is talking, the other partner in crime for today is listening and really trying to understand what are the activities, what are the feelings, what are people, and what is the setting. And then at the end of each of you talking to each other, just maybe do a little summary, help your partner to understand and say, okay, I heard this about the activities, so you were really interacting with people or not at all interacting with people. You were just, I don't know, creating something completely by yourself. And the setting was, I don't know, 100% remote, or like it was really, you need to be interacting with people a lot. So whatever themes are coming, also help the person who was talking about the ideal day just to realize these patterns a little bit better. So this is the plan for the next 15 to 20 minutes. So kind of 3-4 minutes for yourself. Just write down a couple of things about your ideal day, and then talk to each other around 7 minutes per person. So this is back to the conversation about these 2 dimensions. One part of us wants really to do something different or new, and the other part always protects status quo. This is a very natural dynamics for any system, including external systems like organizations. I mean, if you ever led or participated in any kind of company organizational change, you experienced that every system tries to protect its status quo, even if it wants to change. The same goes for our inner life, for our psyche. And we need to respect this part of us that protects the status quo, because it's survival mechanisms. That's how our brain saves energy and doesn't want to spend it for something new, which for our brain means risky or dangerous. And this is one part. And another part of our immunity to change, there is this term, by the way, and there is a very good book on this topic, written by, I think he's from Harvard Business School, Kagan, Robert Kagan, I think. Maybe you know the book. It's really good. And there are also workshops built to cope with our immunity to change. So 2 other big reasons why we postpone acting. as long as our dream stays in our imagination, it stays perfect. It's very easy to imagine how you relocate countries, how you move countries. In reality, it will be messy. When you marry a person you love, you will get into conflicts, misunderstandings. So every dream coming true is always causing the downsides and certain limitations. So dream becomes very real, sometimes a bit too real. And this is why we unconsciously sometimes just keep it very safe and beautiful. Then it's always perfect. If we talk about relationship, I know our workshop is not dedicated to it, but it's really a good, I love this phrase, which says, the best relationships are the ones, and the relationships that you remember forever are the ones that never happened. So it's easy to imagine, it's easy to have some fantasies rather than bring things to reality. So that might also unconsciously affect us and stop us from acting. And the other part, in our heads, we can be everything, whatever we want. We can have a perfect career, move countries, travel, work remotely, do few projects. In reality, we need to choose and really need to prioritize. So these things might also unconsciously stop us from moving. And recognizing this and understanding it about ourselves might be already a good step, because then we can actually act on this. So I will stop sharing maybe for a minute. If you think now about the things you were talking about in your ideal day, or maybe the things you want to do, some ideas you have, some projects you have in your mind, what do you see any benefit of not making that step? Is there any specific fear or some assumptions that already come to your mind that stop you from trying? Or basically what we can do is acknowledge and respect this resistance, as I just mentioned. Sorry, Yekaterina, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that what we see also in our program, that many people think that this kind of thinking process is a real action. So you dedicate a lot of time to make a perfect plan, but in reality it will be only 1% out of 100% where you will actually start to take in small steps. So in the end of the day, it's not so important to think too much, too perfect, and just start doing small steps as soon as possible.
Thank you. Yes, I totally agree that the longer we overthink, the more difficult it becomes to do something. And important thing is also, of course, there might be risks, and there are risks, but we need to mitigate those risks that we're able to. So financial again, are we ready really like to go full time, leave our job, or probably like have some savings if we want to do some entrepreneurial things. So these things should be totally reviewed and mitigated, but also review our assumptions. What is real and what is false? Because as we just discussed, this critical voice is making things bigger than they are. And again, back to example with LinkedIn posts, I know it by myself also. Okay, you posted and then you see the world is still standing there. Some people liked it, some didn't react, and basically you still go on, you're still a professional. So really what are we overestimating? And the most important thing, the last but not the least, act despite this fear, just as we now discussed, thanking our inner critic, but then becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. So test and have these small experiments, because this fear will always follow us, because this is again the safety or survival thing. Okay, let us then go to and ground us in reality. I want to give you one tool that maybe some of you saw already and maybe had some experience, or maybe some of you didn't. This is called GAPS self-assessment tool. So there are different ways to frame your strengths and your desires. There is a SWOT analysis that you can also use for your own project or your own personality. So this GAPS self-assessment tool has four, as you see, like four parts. G stands for goals. So here we basically complete the questionnaire, and you will get this questionnaire after, a little bit later. So we complete here, what are our goals? So what is it important for me? What do I want to achieve? What I won't sacrifice? This is the things that go in goals. Then we go to abilities. Abilities are basically both my strengths and also what I know about my development areas. And this is what I know about myself. I've always been good at something. And these are the strengths or skills that brought me here. These are the skills that contributed to my current success. And here we can also put, by the way, maybe certain things from these inner critics, that we are like super responsible, or like sometimes perfectionism, but also there are always downsides. In these abilities part, we also put some development needs. So I know that I am, again, maybe my perfectionism stops me from acting quickly on opportunities. I want to be fully prepared. And in this part, it's good to put the things that I know about myself, but also the feedback that I've got, because throughout our careers, when we work with our like clients, colleagues, maybe sometimes from our friends, we get some feedback about our personalities, about our skills. So this is also good to consider it. And it also goes mainly, sorry, by the way, I jumped already to perception. So the feedback goes to P. So abilities is my strengths, my skills, and perceptions specifically go to this P part. This is the feedback from others. What others say about my strengths and my development areas, what feedback I got, and what reputation I have with others. And when I say reputation, it's really about what people, how do they talk about me? And we can really sometimes we did this exercise in one of my previous companies. We asked this question: what words come to my mind when you hear my name? So basically this is about reputation. Oh, so this person is always, I don't know, creating communities, or like building connections, or solving problems, or something like that. This is just an example. But here perception is really feedback. Why it is important? Not to act on every feedback we get, not at all. The other way around, we don't need to act on every feedback. It can be very subjective, but there can be some blind spots. So when we get from few people feedback where we see similar things, there might be blind spots actually in both our strengths and our development needs. We are not going to talk too much about our development needs, because I am sure that when we start something new, we need really more of supporters rather than people who will, again, put us in more doubts. But when we see that from feedback certain things arise, that's important to us to see, okay, maybe I never thought that this is my strength, that I am easily building, communities or bringing people together. But that's my strength. Can I utilize it, or do I utilizing it enough? There might be some interesting discoveries here. And the S goes for success factors. It's basically what success looks like, but again, not the success in the corporate meaning, but success for me in my new whatever idea, project, what I want to do. So what capabilities I need I understand already my strengths. This is what I do well. These are my maybe weaknesses. But what do I need for this? Let's say I want to become a coach. I want to become an entrepreneur in this area. What are some additional capabilities? Are there some hard skills? Is there some additional education? Is there a certification that I need to call myself a coach? Do I need it or not? And what is expected? Again, if I want to be, I don't know, entrepreneur, am I supposed to pitch? Do I need to pitch to sell my own product? So kind of things that I need. So this GAPS tool can be really helpful for understanding, for mapping, becoming more clear again with what you already have and what you still need to make the next step towards your idea. And we won't work with all of it, but I want to ask you again in pairs to think about the strengths part, so about the abilities, and basically answer what are your key strengths. Oh my God, sorry guys, I see also the typo. What are your development areas? I'm so sorry. What are your development areas? And what you utilizing your strengths during your ideal day? So when you were talking about your ideal day, were your strengths used there? Were you doing something utilizing your strengths? So once again, share with your partner what you know about your key strengths, what you know about your development areas. While you will be working, I will correct the slide. And how did you utilize these strengths in your ideal day? Is it okay? Is it clear? Okay, cool.
Yeah, just in case, I wanted to suggest, I understand that you do not see the slide in the chat. Maybe each one can take a screenshot if it's okay.
And now I'm really ashamed that I have a typo on this screen shot that everybody will have.
Maybe you have an imposter syndrome or perfectionist.
Probably, yeah. It's definitely it. It's not that I was inaccurate. It's all because I'm too critical about myself.
Cool.
Okay. We will have a home task for you. Of course, only if you want to do that. We will share the gaps. Oh my God, again, there are. Yeah. So we will share this GAP self-assessment tool for you to complete, and also to continue building up on the strengths. We will ask you to ask 3 to 5 people who you worked closely with. It could be also your friends, but not super close friends. Better those, again, who experienced you in the work environment, maybe in some project. It could be voluntary project, something, but still something where you not only did some fun stuff, not bar hopping. So ask these people about your 2 to 3 top strengths. We are not asking about any development areas because, again, back to our topic of discussion, we really need to get this, I would say, more of a support and better owning our strengths, what we just started also doing today. So only ask about 2 to 3 strengths, and then I would also be curious to see what comes out, because that can be quite a powerful thing. And you can say that you are working with a coach or participating in some kind of like development program, personal development, whatsoever. So you were requested to do this exercise, and you can reach out to 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So this is going to be a homework. Thank you very much. We will share the home task, and back to you, Yekaterina.
No, just wanted to thank you for your engagement and participation. I took an advantage to also do the exercises with Elizabeth, and it actually was amazing for me as well. So I hope you also enjoyed the session. And if you have any questions, please ask us in the group that we'll create for this sprint. And let's support each other. Let's finish this year in a good mood and great ideas.
Thank you so
Nataliya.
much. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good evening.